A strange encounter in the forest. Jason's boots sank slightly into the mossy ground as he walked through the thick alien forest. The air was cold, and the light above came from two suns peeking through heavy purple clouds. His ship had crashed just hours ago, and he was now alone on a planet no one had mapped. Branches hung low, leaves glowing faint green under the strange sky. Jason's helmet flickered, still damaged from the impact. His oxygen was running low. He needed help, or shelter, fast. Suddenly he noticed something odd. A thin trail of black smoke was rising between the trees in the distance. He froze. Someone else is here? Jason moved carefully, pushing aside heavy vines and strange plants with blue petals that hissed when touched. As he came closer, the smoke led him to a strange sight. In the middle of a small clearing, a figure was lying on the ground. It was a girl, or at least she looked like one. She had smooth, silver-pink skin and long hair that shimmered like glass in the sunlight. Her arms were thin, almost delicate, with faint, glowing lines running from her shoulders to her wrists. A broken campfire smoldered beside her. She wasn't moving. Jason stepped closer. "Hey, are you okay?" No answer. He kneeled beside her and touched her shoulder gently. Her skin was cool and soft, like touching water. Suddenly her eyes flew open. Bright violet eyes locked onto his, wide with panic. She tried to speak, but only let out a soft gasp. "I'm not gonna hurt you," Jason said, raising his hands. Her body twitched, then her skin, especially around her sides and neck, started glowing. Soft pulses of light moved like waves across her body. Jason backed away, confused and scared. What the hell? The girl sat up slowly, breathing hard. She touched her chest, then looked at Jason. Her lips moved. "Run," she whispered. Jason blinked. "What?" She grabbed his arm tightly. "Run!" she shouted again. And then, her body began to shift. Jason stepped back as her breathing got heavier. Her skin seemed to react to his presence like it was trying to reach out to him. Strange tendrils of light danced along her legs and sides, slithering like ribbons of heat. Her face twisted in fear, not anger. She looked more afraid of herself than of him. Jason turned and ran. He didn't look back. The forest around him felt like it was closing in. His heart pounded. Branches whipped his face as he pushed through, desperate to get away from whatever she was becoming. After several minutes, he reached a small slope and collapsed behind a rock. He breathed heavily, trying to understand what just happened. Was she dangerous or sick? Why did she tell him to run? Then he heard something. Tap, 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 soft footsteps, leaves rustling. Jason held his breath. He peeked over the rock. Nothing. Suddenly, a low voice whispered from behind him. "Please, I don't want to hurt you." Jason spun around, and there she was. The alien girl stood a few feet away, her hands raised, her body glowing softly. Her eyes were wide and glassy. "I can't control it," she said slowly. "Your touch, it triggers something inside me." Jason didn't move. "What do you mean?" She looked down. "My species was made for bonding with your kind. But something is wrong with me. I was abandoned because of it." Jason stared at her. Her skin shimmered again, and a soft mist started to rise from her shoulders. "I need help," she said. "But you need to stay away, or it will happen again." He took a careful step back. "I need to understand what's going on," he said. "But I can't help if I don't know what you are." She looked up. "My name is Jayla, and I'm broken." Jason frowned. The mist from her body thickened slightly. His vision blurred. His head spun. I think I need to sit," he said. Jayla moved forward quickly to catch him. "No, don't." Jason tried to pull away, but it was too late. Her hands touched his chest, and suddenly, Jason felt a strange sensation run through his body like warm electricity like something inside her was searching. He gasped. Jayla pulled back instantly, panicked. I'm sorry, she cried. Jason stumbled back, chest heaving. What the hell are you? She looked terrified. I told you. I'm made to connect. But if it goes wrong, I become something else. Jason stared at her glowing form. The forest went quiet again, and for the first time since he landed, Jason wasn't just lost, he was in real danger. Jason sat under a twisted alien tree, breathing hard. The glowing mist from Zayla's body still clung faintly to his skin. His heart wouldn't calm down. What just happened didn't feel normal. It felt like something had touched his mind, like her body tried to read his soul. Across from him, Zayla knelt in the grass, hands folded tightly. She avoided his eyes. Her skin was dim now. No glow, no mist. Just a trembling alien girl, afraid of herself. Jason finally broke the silence. What did you do to me? Zayla didn't answer at first. Then softly, it's not something I do, it's what I am. Her voice was thin, scared. She looked like she expected him to yell or run. Jason stood up slowly, still dizzy. You said your people were made to bond with humans, she nodded. Not love, not romance, something deeper, a survival link. Long ago, your kind made us for connection, for peace. But it broke us instead. Jason frowned. Broke? You how? Zayla finally looked at him, and in her glowing purple eyes he saw pain older than her voice. When we touch humans, she whispered, our bodies respond, but not all of us can handle it. Some might lose control, others change. I'm one of the failed ones. My body doesn't stop. It tries to take more, absorb more, like it's hungry. Jason stared. You're saying your species feeds on human contact? No, she said quickly. Not feed, merge. But for me, the reaction is wrong. Too strong. That's why my people cast me out. Jason walked in a slow circle, hands on his hips trying to think. So if I stay close, you'll lose control? Zayla shook her head. No, it's worse. I won't just change. You will too. If I bond without control, your body, your mind, may not survive it. Jason's heart skipped. He remembered the feeling from before. The pull, like something inside her wanted to pull something out of him. So that's why you told me to run. She nodded. But why did you chase me? Zayla bit her lip. I was scared, she said. And alone. And I've never touched a human before. But when you did, I felt calm. For a moment, I thought maybe I could handle it. Jason sat back down. The ground was cold. The forest around them was quiet again, but it didn't feel peaceful. It felt like something was waiting to happen. Zayla looked at him again. Jason, she said. I need your help. He raised an eyebrow. Help with what? Controlling the crazy energy inside you? No, she said. I need you to anchor me. You're the only human I've met. If I stay close and if we bond slowly, and I might survive. Jason laughed once, a sharp, nervous sound. You're asking me to stay near you when you literally warned me you could melt my brain. I didn't say melt, she said quietly. Jason looked at her with disbelief. You almost did. Zayla stood slowly, her body still dim and calm. You don't have to stay. But if I lose control again, I don't know what I'll become. Jason studied her. She didn't seem like a threat. She seemed broken, like a living machine made wrong, a soul born from old science and abandoned like trash. He took a breath. I'll help, he said. But you stay 2 meters away. No glowing, no touching. Zayla gave a small smile. Deal. Just then the forest shifted. A low rumble passed through the ground like something moving far away. Jayla's eyes widened. They're coming. Jason stood. Who? My old tribe. They sensed the reaction. They'll come to end me, before I become something they fear. Jason clenched his fists. Well, they're going to find me standing in the way. Jayla stared at him. You would fight for me? I already touched you, Jason said. Might as well finish what I started. Jayla didn't speak. But for the first time, the glow on her skin returned, gentle, warm, not wild, like a heartbeat beginning to trust again. Jason kept his back against the thick tree trunk, pulse racing. Every sound in the forest felt louder now. Every rustle, every crack. The ground had stopped rumbling, but the threat hadn't passed. Jayla stood nearby, her skin still glowing. Softly, she looked calm, but Jason could see the fear in her eyes. They will come fast, she said. My body released a signal when it reacted to you. The tribe's hunters will follow it. Jason's eyes narrowed. Hunters? They kill what they don't understand, Jayla said. And me? I'm the warning story they tell their children. Jason checked his scanner, still broken. His gear was nearly useless here. We need higher ground, he said. I need to see them before they see us. Jayla looked unsure. There's a ridge north, but the path is dangerous. The land there shifts. It remembers old steps. Jason frowned. The land remembers? It's not dead like your worlds, she said. This planet watches. Jason didn't ask more. He just nodded. Then let's not give it more to watch. They moved quickly, Jason clearing vines with his survival knife, Jayla gliding silently behind. Her bare feet didn't make a sound, and her body barely brushed the plants. But Jason wasn't that quiet. Suddenly, snap. His boot cracked a dry branch. Jayla froze. Jason turned. What? What is it? Jayla raised one trembling hand and pointed. From the trees ahead, 3 glowing eyes blinked open in the shadows. Then a low growl. Not like an animal. It was deeper. Intelligent. Watching. They found us, Jayla whispered. Dart flew from the dark. Jason barely ducked. Thunk. It stuck into a tree behind him. They're not here to talk, he said. Jayla's glow started to pulse again. If I lose control while afraid? Jason, I need to calm down. Now. Jason grabbed her hand without thinking. Just breathe, look at me. Her skin rippled with light, but this time it didn't explode outward. It held steady like a candle in wind. Footsteps approached, 6 of them. The hunters wore cloaks made from scaled leaves and bone armor. Their faces were hidden, but their eyes glowed just like Jayla's, only colder. The leader stepped forward. Return the broken one, he said to Jason in a deep, accented voice. She does not belong beside you. Jason moved in front of Jayla. She belongs wherever she chooses. The hunter sneered. Then die with her. A bolt of energy shot from the hunter's arm. Jason tackled Jayla as the blast hit the tree. Behind them, boom! Bark exploded like sparks. Run! Jason shouted. They sprinted. The land shook beneath them as old roots moved, like veins waking up. Jayla led the way now, guiding Jason between rocks, ducking under vines, leaping over cracks in the earth. This path is alive, Jason shouted. It remembers pain, Jayla called back. So give it no reason to hurt us. A vine struck out. Grabbing Jason's leg, he slashed it with his knife. The vine hissed and bled thick yellow sap. They reached a wall of stone, an old ruin half buried, carved with strange symbols. In here, Jayla said, pulling back part of the stone. A hidden tunnel opened behind it. Jason dove in after her. Darkness swallowed them whole. Silence. They sat inside, breathing heavy. Jason felt warm air rising from below. What is this place? He asked. Jayla placed her hand on a carved symbol. It lit up. My ancestors built this place, she said. Before we were changed, it's a memory chamber. The hunters cannot follow here. It is sacred. Jason looked at the walls, etched with stars, humans, and her kind, standing side by side. I think your people used to be more like mine, Jason said. Jayla nodded. Before the war. Before the fear. Jason leaned back, still catching his breath. He looked at her closely. You almost lost control again back there. I didn't, she replied softly. Because you held my hand. Jason said nothing. But something had changed. The glow in her body was steady now. Not wild, not dangerous. It was soft. Safe. And for the first time since crashing on this planet, Jason didn't feel alone. He felt like he was meant to be here. With her. The old tunnel smelled like dust and forgotten time. Jason's flashlight flickered as they moved deeper underground, its beam dancing over smooth walls covered in carvings. Humans and alien beings standing together, reaching toward the stars. What is this place really? Jason asked, running his fingers across a symbol that looked like a spiral wrapped in flames. Jayla touched another wall, and lights slowly came alive. Soft blue orbs lit the hallway. The air warmed. Something stirred, like the walls themselves were waking up. This was once a sanctuary, she said, when humans and my kind still worked together, before it all went wrong. Jason followed her into a chamber shaped like a dome. At its center was a tall machine, rusted but still humming faintly. Around it were data slabs, glass containers, and skeletons, human skeletons. Jason's heart skipped. What happened here? Jayla walked slowly to one of the slabs and wiped away the dust. A projection flickered on. A human face, pale, tired, and recorded long ago. Experiment log 429. Subject bonding still unstable. Alien physiology too reactive to human DNA. Emotional triggers make the process violent. One touched a child's hand. The child never woke up. We must shut it down. All of it. Jason stared in horror. They weren't just working together, they were experimenting. On her kind, on Jayla's kind. Jayla turned away from the glowing recording. Her face looked hollow. This is why they fear humans, she whispered. Because we were made from them, but not by them. We were created to be perfect companions, emotional mirrors, soul links. But when the bond fails, something inside us breaks. Jason felt cold. And you? You're one of those failed creations? Jayla nodded. I wasn't born naturally. I was grown, like many others. But something in me is different. The bond reaction is too strong, too unstable. My tribe feared I'd destroy whoever I connected with. Jason looked back at the skeletons. The story was older than either of them, and the truth was worse than any fairy tale. Why didn't anyone stop this? He asked quietly. Jayla touched her chest, glowing faintly. They did, with fire and silence. Suddenly, a loud hum came from the old machine. A screen lit up, still, running after all these years. Jason leaned closer. Warning, bonding attempt detected, unauthorized DNA match recorded. Jason stepped back. It's scanning us? Jayla looked down at her glowing skin. It knows we connected, even a little. Jason's hand hovered near his sidearm. Is it dangerous? Jayla didn't answer. She was staring at something on the side of the machine. A glowing panel. Symbols rotated slowly around one word now displayed in human English. Mate. Identified. Jason stepped back in shock. That can't be right. Jayla's voice trembled. This place, it locked us together. Jason laughed bitterly. So what, now I'm your soulmate because I held your hand while running from assassins? Jayla didn't smile. Jason turned away. His head throbbed. They had walked into a trap set long ago, one built by his own people. Now the past was forcing choices on them. Jayla sat down beside the machine. You don't have to stay, she said quietly. You didn't choose this. Jason looked at her again. In that moment, she didn't look alien. She looked human, tired, alone, afraid of hurting someone she didn't want to lose. He sighed. Maybe I didn't choose it, but I'm here now. Jayla looked up. Jason added. And if we're connected, now we better learn how to control it before someone else tries to. The lights dimmed again. Far above, the hunters were still searching, and below, the old science had woken, and wasn't finished yet. Jason could feel it. The connection was growing. He didn't need to touch her anymore to feel Jayla's emotions, her fear, her hope, even her pain. It was like her heartbeat echoed in the back of his mind. They had left the underground chamber hours ago, slipping through narrow canyons and glowing marshes as they tried to stay ahead of the hunters. The sky above was turning dark violet now, the planet's second sun beginning to fade. We can rest in that hollow tree, Jayla whispered, pointing to a large, ancient trunk ahead. Jason nodded. We need a break. My legs are about to quit. Inside, the hollow, the air was warmer. Moss glowed faintly along the walls, giving them just enough light. Jason sat down and removed his boots, groaning. How are you still walking? Jayla smiled softly, her skin glowing in a peaceful pattern. We're lighter than humans, made for running. But I'm tired too. She sat beside him, careful not to touch. For a few moments, they just sat in silence, breathing. Then Jason turned to her. You said your tribe told stories about you, that you were dangerous. She nodded. They believed I would lose control, that one day I would bond by accident, and whoever I touched would never come back the same. Jason looked at her, his voice quiet. And do you believe that? Jayla didn't answer immediately. Then she said, I used to, until I met you. Jason's chest tightened. Before he could speak, a click echoed outside the tree. Then another. Heavy footsteps. A sharp hiss like a weapon charging. Jason grabbed his knife and motioned for Jayla to stay quiet. They peeked outside together. The hunters were back, this time just two of them. But they weren't searching anymore. They were tracking with purpose. They're not hunting both of us, Jason said. They're hunting me. Jayla's eyes widened. What? Why? Jason narrowed his eyes. Because they know. I bonded with you, and now I'm a threat. To their control. To their lies. Jayla looked down, trembling. They'll kill you. Jason smiled bitterly. Not if we stop hiding. He stood. Wait, she said. You don't have to do this. I can lead them away. Jason turned sharply. You think I'd let you go alone after everything? But you're not one of us. You could leave. Go back to your world. Jason stepped forward, looking right into her glowing eyes. I don't care what your people think you are. You're not broken, Jayla. You're evolving. They fear what they can't control. I've seen it before. And if protecting you means fighting them, so be it. Tears welled in her eyes. You don't even know what might happen if we bond fully. I don't care, Jason said. If I lose myself, at least I did it for someone worth saving. Jayla reached out her hand, slowly. He took it. Their skin touched. No explosions. No wild energy. Just calm. A steady glow wrapped around them both like warm moonlight flowing from their bodies. And then, screams. From outside, the two hunters were on the ground, writhing, clutching their heads. Their weapons dropped. One shouted, It's happening. The bond is stabilizing. Stop them before... Jason stepped out, still holding Jayla's hand. We're not running anymore. Jayla's voice was stronger now. You tried to erase me, but he made me whole. The air around them pulsed. The forest reacted, trees bending slightly, vines moving away from their path. The land recognized something ancient, something powerful. Jason looked at Jayla. Are we doing this? She nodded, voice soft but certain. Together. The ground was breathing, not in the way humans understand, but in the way living planets react to change. The trees leaned. The wind held still. Even the distant animals grew silent. Something had shifted. Jason and Jayla stood together in the clearing. The hunters who had come to kill them were now unconscious, stunned by the force of the stable, bond between human and hybrid. Jason didn't know how it worked, but he could feel it. Her heartbeat echoed inside his chest. His thoughts, once scattered, were now calm, focused. Jayla turned to him, her eyes no longer glowing wildly, but softly, like moonlight on water. "You've anchored me," she whispered. "No one has ever done that before." Jason exhaled, shaking his head. "You're not the only one changing." He held up his hand. A faint shimmer flickered across his skin, her energy, now living inside him. He wasn't just connected to her, he was beginning to evolve too. Jayla's breath caught. This was never in the old data. The bond was never supposed to affect humans this way. Jason gave a crooked smile. Maybe it just needed the right human. But they had no time to wonder. Suddenly, the sky cracked. A massive rumble shook the earth as an armored ship descended through the clouds, larger than any Zayla had ever seen. Black and gold, shaped like a blade, it hovered above the trees with deafening force. Jayla's face paled. "That's not my tribe." Jason's jaw tightened. "Then who is it?" Jayla took a trembling step back. "They're from the High Order, a pureblood fleet. If they detect our bond, they won't just kill us, they'll erase this entire region." Jason's voice dropped. "Why?" "Because if the bond can heal a broken hybrid, then their lies crumble. Everything they built, control, fear, isolation, it all falls apart." The ship released scout drones which fanned out through the forest. Jason looked at Jayla. "We can't outrun a fleet. What do we do?" She turned, walking toward the unconscious hunters. Jason flinched. "Jayla, I'm ending this," she said. She placed her glowing hand on the hunters' foreheads. Their bodies stiffened, then relaxed. When they woke, their eyes were wide, not with anger but awe. "You bonded?" one whispered. Jayla nodded, "And I survived. So did he." The hunters looked at Jason. One reached into his cloak and pulled out a small crystal shaped like a tear. "This is a clan beacon," he said. "We used it to call reinforcements." Jason raised an eyebrow. "Let me guess. They're not coming to help us." The hunter smiled weakly. "No, but we can reprogram it. If she links her signature to it, we can send a pulse. A message to others, hybrids, outcasts, anyone still hiding. They'll hear it." Jayla looked at Jason. "It's a risk. The High Order could trace it." Jason took her hand. "Then let them come. We stop hiding now." Jayla closed her eyes. Her body glowed brighter than ever before, no longer unstable, but balanced, powerful. Her energy flowed into the crystal. The forest lit up with veins of silver light. The pulse shot skyward. Jason's mind filled with distant whispers, lives waking up across planets feeling the signal. Something ancient was returning. Not a weapon, not a war, a bond. Jayla collapsed briefly, breathing heavy. Jason caught her. "Did it work?" he asked. She smiled, weakly. "They heard us." Above them, the large ship began to back away, slowly at first, then faster. Jason blinked. "They're leaving." Jayla looked up. "They saw what we are now, and they're afraid." Jason helped her stand. In that moment, the forest felt peaceful again, and somewhere across the stars, others like her were rising. The sky was quiet. The massive warship had vanished beyond the clouds, chased away not by weapons, but by something more dangerous. Hope. Jason and Jayla stood beneath the ancient tree where their journey had begun. The glowing pulse they released had traveled far, beyond this forest, beyond this planet, touching hidden places across space where hybrids still lived in fear. Jason looked up, hands on his hips, breathing deep. "You really think they heard us?" he asked. Jayla smiled softly, standing beside him. "I don't just think, I feel them now, waking up, remembering who they are." The hunters, once enemies, now stood guard nearby, their weapons lowered, their faces no longer cold, but respectful. One even bowed slightly to Jayla. Jason nudged her shoulder. "Looks like your people are starting to see the truth." Jayla laughed gently. Not my people, our people now. Jason blinked. Wait, what? Jayla turned toward him fully. Her skin glowed with a gentle light, steady and strong. When we bonded, she said, you became more than just a human. You became part of something ancient, something forgotten. Jason scratched his head. Does this mean I have to wear a weird robe now and speak in riddles? Jayla smiled wider. No robes, but maybe a future. Jason looked around at the peaceful forest, the soft glowing moss, the distant stars beginning to rise. So what now? He asked. Jayla reached into a small pouch and handed him a smooth, round stone. It glowed faintly. This is a seed crystal, she explained. It grows into a beacon, one that can call us anywhere in the galaxy. Jason turned it over in his hands. In case I ever need help? Jayla shook her head gently. In case we need you again. Jason felt a lump in his throat. Jayla continued, her voice lower now. There's more like me out there. More who think they're broken. More who've been told to hide. But if they hear our story, see that it's possible to survive the bond, maybe they'll stop running. Jason nodded. And maybe they'll start fighting back. She stepped closer. And maybe they'll stop being afraid of love. The air between them grew still. The forest listened. Jason reached out and took her hand again. This time there was no glow, no fear, only warmth. Connection. You saved me, Jayla said. Not just my body. You saved my soul. Jason chuckled. Funny. I was thinking the same about you. Behind them, the hunters began preparing a ship. Jayla's. People now her protectors. It was time to go. Jason looked toward the sky. You leaving? Jayla nodded. For now. I need to help others find what we found. He smiled. So, this is goodbye? No, she said. This is the beginning. She leaned forward and touched her forehead gently to his. A silent promise. Then, she walked away, stepping into the soft light of the waiting ship. Jason watched as it lifted off, vanishing into the stars. Just as the first signs of dawn touched the forest floor, he stood alone, but not empty. Something inside him had changed. Something awakened. And as he turned to walk back through the trees, he smiled to himself, because even if the galaxy didn't understand him, he knew exactly who he was now, the man who stood by her side, against everything.